Hello everyone, welcome back to another The Ace Talk Show, radio style. You know what to do, just listen on in. Just make sure you leave a comment or a like. Make sure you also spread the word around and let others know about the show. Today we are going to go through a range of topics, and I've got two guests with me. The first guest we have,
I'm Striving Sun.
and we also have,
Lightsaber.
alright. And for the show, it's going to be an honor to have guests on it. As you guys know, I don't have too many guests, so we'll just start right off here. To kick off the conversation, we're gonna go about beta, all about the combat beta. What do you guys think about the version that they're gonna be doing for combat?
Well, I mean, I was part of the 50, well, not 50,000, but the 12-month members, so I kind of got instant access. And when I first joined, it was pretty cool. I mean, I went out and I was doing some PKing. I mean, of course, with full Torva and all that stuff, but it was still fun nonetheless. But doing AFK training for, like, combat is really weird. And I know they added the new ultimate ability that boosts AFK damage, like when you're not using abilities. But it was still kind of weird. I don't know.
You'd still have to kind of not AFK. You'd have to still, if it's an ultimate ability, you have to build your ability bar up to the ultimate before you can use it.
Yeah, and I haven't gone and tested it, but I have seen some other videos about it, and it doesn't look like it gives that big of a boost. And the weird thing is that when you kill something, you get the XP after you kill it, not as you're doing damage like the regular system. So it's really weird. And I was doing some testing on barraging monkeys on Ape Atoll, and the XP was actually really good, but it's not AFK like it used to be. I mean, I'm probably going to train that way if the beta comes out, but I don't know if I like it too much compared to the original barraging.
So basically, this new system is going to be a little bit too interactive compared to what, let's say, a lot of the players are used to.
Yeah, I've been listening to a lot of people talk about it, whether it's in our clan or just standing in the GE, or even YouTube videos, just looking at comments. And there's just a lot of people that don't like it. And there's a couple people that say, oh, you guys got to get used to it and things like that. RuneScape is moving forward, even though it's going to be like WoWscape or something like that. But I think it's good for the game, but the community doesn't like it. I don't know, they should follow the community, but at the same time the game should move forward. So it's kind of a double-edged sword, if you want to call it that.
Well, like they say, normally if 50% of the players like it and 50% of the players hate it, then it's a good update.
50% of the players actually like this, from what I've seen.
I'm not so sure. I think it's actually, yeah, it's kind of close to 50-50.
But not really.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things you can basically pick out of the beta that's really bad. I mean, you can change it, but the beta is too big of a change. You just can't say if I own the game, I had this combat for a while, and now I just want to throw this new update in, and I'm not even gonna test it. I'm just gonna throw it in there. No one's gonna like it.
Right.
That's basically
like Son was saying, a lot of people really haven't been given it a chance, and from paraphrasing Jagex here, of course I don't have any quotes right off the bat, but their thing is that they're trying to ease everybody into it by allowing everyone into the beta during the weekends. Now, the people that are just all against it aren't trying it, so they're not even giving it a chance and they down it. And then there's players like myself and Son and probably you have tried it, and I actually don't mind it, except for I really do think it's too much involved.
Yeah, as I was talking to you before, I really don't mind if it gets implemented, but I prefer the old combat system to this any day. But if it does, I'd be perfectly fine. I'd just go about my business, figure out new ways to skill and stuff. If anything, the barraging at Ape Atoll was better XP than regular, so in some ways it's good, but you have to trade AFK-ness in combat for more XP, which I guess is a good thing, because that's probably how the game was supposed to be played in the first place.
Yeah, I have to tell something about the people that are talking about give the beta a chance. You don't understand when the beta comes out, you won't have Torva or this Divine or Verdus, so it's gonna be harder for you. You can't run around in full rune, slashing, hitting like 10,000s. Then you can.
Right.
Yeah, and I think you were talking about that, Ace. You said you use only the stuff in your bank to do it?
Yeah, when I did all my events for the outfit, and then even then, so I could get to learn how to set it up as far as like the dual wielding or shield or whatever, or a two hand. I only used what I had in my bank. I mean, it's not like I was gonna risk losing it because I could just reload. I could re-import my account. The only thing I grabbed was the food, so I wouldn't have to worry about grabbing extra food or having to go in game and go fishing more or whatever. So I had enough food to keep doing things. So I grabbed the quick food real quick, and I found it quite easy to run a lot of stuff. And even other players I know that actually did do the testing, didn't do this gambling, didn't do the, like you said, went and grabbed the Torva or all the other higher end stuff, just what they had. A lot of us found out that, hey, if we weren't that good at combat in the regular game because we're more of a skiller or more of a chatter in the community, we found out that the beta actually made it seem like we were a whole lot better at combat than what we were. I mean, it wasn't that hard to pick up on.
Yeah, at first I grabbed the Torva. I was like, "Oh man, this is cool." But then I decided to grab some bandos and see what I could do. And I was probably one of the first 30 people in the wilderness. Well, maybe not that early, but anyways, I kind of picked up on the combat pretty fast, and I was just destroying everybody out there. And that was with Torva, though, and the other people I were fighting had Torva. But then I decided to get Bandos out, and even with Bandos, I could take down with someone with Torva fairly easily, as long as you did really good with your abilities and whatnot. Although, I gotta say, I went up against someone with a Chaotic Maul, and I got destroyed.
Yeah,
so
OP.
Chaotics are kind of overpowered in the beta, or at least they were when I fought.
There's a lot of OP things in the beta, because me and my friend were decided to do some duel arena. So I told him, let's fight, grab whatever you want. So he grabbed a Divine. I had 3 different switches. I could not hit him for nothing. He just had Gano and a Divine, and he just ripped through me. And I just had, I had Torva, I had Bandos, I switched to Pernix, Verdus, and this Divine, I just couldn't hit through it. I get a lucky 2,000, and then this guy's hitting 10,000s on me really quick.
I don't think I ever really used dual wielding that much, because if I was, I probably would have gotten a Chaotic, but I haven't gotten 80 duns yet, so I can't really go pick up a Chaotic. So I was just using a Whip and a Divine, and other than the Chaotic Maul, and I think I fought someone with a Rapier, I'm not sure, but other than the Chaotic Maul, any other weapon really couldn't hit that much. And I know a lot of other people were using dual wield Whip and Dragon Scimitar if they weren't using a Chaotic. And I think a lot of people are using Chaotic Longswords, and those weren't doing as much, but the Chaotic Maul was definitely overpowered. Because he hit a 3,000 on me, and I'm not even sure if it was an ultimate ability. And I was using melee armor too. Now, had I been using mage, it would have been different, because you literally cannot hit from melee to mage at all. You have to use range. You'll hit a little bit, like that Barrows event, fighting against the the seventh Barrow's brother. I don't remember what his name is, but the one that uses prayers. He's like, you have to have a melee to range switch, and I tried using mage, but you can't hit on him because I think he's technically a mage, and with melee you definitely can't hit on him. And I actually died the first time I went in there. All the other Barrow's brothers were easy, and when I first went up against him, I'm like, okay, I'm doing pretty good. And then all of a sudden I look at my health and I'm at like 1,000. I'm like, oh my god, what is wrong with this guy? He's super overpowered. But it's the same if you use, like, range against melee isn't too bad, but using melee against mage is just, you cannot hit at all.
Yeah.
Well, that brings up a point that I've been chatting about to others in my clan and also your guys' clan. Well, just a shout out just to let everybody know out there. It's Flip to Win is Driving Sun and Lightsaber, and then my clan is The Clan, of course. But a topic that I was bringing up now and again was, and also in forums, that really does it seem like they should remove the combat triangle? Because really it's not going to be about your combat type, your melee, your range, or your mage, but it's going to be, it seems like it's actually more about knowing how to use your abilities. I mean, it is mainly based on using your abilities to fight instead of the AFK style that is current. Do you really think that the combat triangle should be removed?
If they remove it, you have to think about player killing, because then if they remove it, everyone's gonna be having range. So like ranges can like rape melee can rape mage, and it just wouldn't. I don't think it would fit in.
But it would all balance out with learning how to use your abilities. Because if even now, if you use your abilities right, like anticipation and reflex and stuff like that,
and take out when the other person stuns you and stuff.
Right, and if you really get the skill of knowing when to time your abilities to do that, as you were saying at Barrows, going against the mage and stuff like that, I walked through it with melee with no problem, because I've had the previous experience at the duel arena to anticipate and use the shield to heal and stuff like that to go against them.
Before they updated the beta, when it first came out, the shields, I went to Bandos with some random guy. Me and him dueled for like 3 hours. We didn't have no food. If we had low HP, we'd either spam the shield ability and then just use the HP thing to get full HP.
Yeah, that ultimate ability for defense that takes you back up to like 3,000 health, or however. And I actually used that in PvP when the beta first came out, and I went and used it, and not as many people are using the defensive abilities, so I put that on my ultimate, and I'm like, oh, okay, I'll just use this and see what happens. And so it like scoops me up, and the other guy's like, what the heck? And all of a sudden I'm back at like half health, and he's trying to figure out what's going on, and I'm just eating through him with all these other attack and the strength abilities. I mean, it's kind of surprising. I mean, a lot of more people know about it now, but it seems a tad bit overpowered. I mean, you don't even really need to bring food as long as the person you're fighting against isn't wrecking on you, because as fast as it is to get your special bar up, or whatever they're calling it now, as fast as it takes to get it up, if you're fighting against something that's just wrecking you, that's not going to work as well. But with this they've made defense a lot more worthy to train, if you want to say that. It's just a lot harder to hit through. I mean, there's some monsters that will just destroy you, but there's not that many of them. There, however, are a lot that don't hit that hard through you. Even some of the mages, if you're against melee, they hit hard, but not enough to where they're gonna drop you in like 3 seconds, and you don't have time to use the healing ability. But I mean, like Corporal Beast, a lot of people are saying it was easy. I mean, and Storm of Armadillo was really good against it in the very beginning. And I ran in there with full Virtus and stuff, and I turned on Prey Mage and stuff, because I wasn't going to be meleeing it, so I wouldn't have to put Protect from melee on. but it still went through and just wrecked me, even with Mage on. I mean, that probably wasn't the best gear to use for Corp at the time, but that and even Nexus doesn't do a whole lot of damage. But Corporal Beast, maybe a couple other monsters, and maybe if you're fighting someone against a Chaotic Maul, they do like tons of damage. But that's just a few of the things on RuneScape. So a majority of things you can just camp through it and wait till your ability bar gets back up and use that whenever you're on low health. And it's just really easy to get back up.
I actually remember some of them though. I know Bandos, you know, you didn't have to pray melee for Bandos. You know, he's hitting 600 so you have 10,000 HP. That's not even, that's like hitting a 60 now. I went to Bandos and I didn't have to pray melee. I remember I went to Jad and Jad is the same, you know, he can still hit 6,000 if you don't prayer switch. I think I tried Zami and he's the same as Bandos, you don't have to do any type of prayer. But they said that they were gonna change it because they're gonna try to make it like actual hits, like they'll boost up the hits, like how Corp is. You said, you know, Corp drop you in a few hits. They said they were gonna boost it, so you know Bandos is still gonna have to pray melee. But what I've seen, you know, the prayer, it's like, was it even worth praying? Because you would still get hit through the prayer, no matter if you were praying.
Because the prayers, they made it so you can only, it blocks like 50%, I think it is. And also, I wasn't really paying attention to, I didn't have turmoil on the beta when I was doing PKing, but a lot of people are saying that it really didn't do a whole lot. They downsized prayers quite a lot. It says it's boosting your attack strength and defense by however much it says, but in reality, you're not really hitting any harder. I mean, you can turn it on, and a lot of people are using Soul Split, and I was hearing mixed conversations about Soul Split, and that it was good and it was bad, but I think a majority of people said that it wasn't doing like it did on the regular beta, or regular game, and like you could just Soul Split flick and just get your health up really quick if it was low. If you're on a Slayer task and you're doing like Iron Dragons in between, or Steel Dragons in between hits, you could, and Pray Melee, you could just flick Soul Split and it would just heal you up like that. But I don't know if it was because they updated this, the HP, and you have like 9,000 HP now and it's kind of glitched. And I haven't gone on and checked to see if they have fixed it. But it's apparent that they've probably downsized the majority of the prayers, and it's just not as good as they used to be.
It also makes the AFK skills a lot harder, because now you're going to have to watch your HP and your prayer.
Yeah, when I was doing my barraging monkeys tests, I was thinking, at first I just stocked my inventory with overloads, prayer renewals, and super prayers, and I was like, oh wait, prayers only protect 50%, don't they? I should bring some food with me. And so I'm putting on the augury, the mage prayer, and protect from melee, and I'm sitting in this corner, and I was doing okay at first for like the first 15 minutes, and sure enough, I think I brought a war tortoise with me full of rock tails just in case, but by like half an hour, I'd gone through like half my tortoise just trying to refill, and I wasn't really sure why I was losing so much health so quickly. Yeah, I really don't know. It's just with the 50%, it really changes things. I mean, you have to bring food everywhere. I mean, originally with barraging rock lobsters, if you were on curses, you could just soul split flick to full HP if you wanted to, or add Dagonoth Kings or something like that. But now you're probably gonna have to bring like maybe 5 rocktails or 6 rocktails just to carry, and just like eat one every 10 minutes, and that's extra inventory space you could have on more prayer potions. So going back to the more XP with this beta, on the offhand, you have to trade out more inventory spaces, which would make you last longer for food, which I don't know, I guess it's an even trade-off, but I'd prefer better XP rates with no food than the alternative.
It's gonna cost a lot more because some refuting, just why buy Rocktail? I'm just gonna get some brews from the store.
Yeah, brews don't even heal. They only heal like 500 now. You pretty much have to take rock tails or some of the other ones. I don't know how much tuna potatoes heal or the choco bombs, whatever those are.
Brews are like, they're probably gonna up them. Probably, they're gonna have to. Otherwise, brews. The price of brews is gonna crash. It's gonna make Herbler really easy. But saying that because brews. Remember, brews stack. So if you spam it in the long run, you'll have some HP. But even though the negations of it, you lose some and stuff.
In the regular game, it was basically like having 4 rock tails in one inventory slot, and they healed even a little bit more than rock tails. I think maybe not. But it was 4 times better than having rock tails. So it saved a lot of space. I mean, I remember attempting to do Jad with brews, and you only took up like on the regular game, and they only took up. I think I only ended up using 2, and two brews the whole thing. And if it goes the same or similar way on the beta, I think I'll probably go and attempt Jad on the beta. I haven't actually done that yet, but if it goes the same way, I'm gonna probably end up using like 10 rocktails, and that's just a lot of waste.
When I tried it on the beta, well, this is when it first came out. Obviously, I was like, I wonder how Jad is. This might be easy because I was prepping for Kiln and Jad, So, but Kiln wasn't out at the time, so I just started doing Jad. I think I used like my whole inventory of brews and I got to like wave 40 and I had nothing left. So I had to spam the shield prayer.
Yeah.
And I didn't turn on prayer melee against the major because it didn't make any sense. I didn't have to pray because all the monsters were there. I think they have the monsters set up like as under, like they're not as regularly powered as they should be. Instead of having like they should, like the major should hit like a 6,000 if you're not praying correctly. But when I got to Jad, I tried to not pray and kill Jad, and I got destroyed.
I haven't tried the fight kiln or the fight caves yet, but according to a lot of videos and people just telling me, I should probably try to do the any and all fight caves and kilns before the beta, because it's I don't know if they said it was a lot harder, but it's a lot more intensive. And I know a lot of people use the kiln as a money-making method. I mean, it's like 50 mil an hour farming onks or something like that.
Yeah. It's like I think it takes like an hour to do kiln.
Yeah, something like that. But that's probably going to be maybe an alternative. I haven't seen any attempts to see what the fastest kill on the beta is. But it's probably going to be less. I don't know. I haven't really followed up on any of the newest killing attempts or anything like that, so we'll have to see what happens.
Of course, we all got to keep in mind that the beta is always changing, so I mean, a lot of things can change as more input gets put out there. It's just making sure that the players actually get on the game and play the beta and put in their 2 cents of what they know, so Jagex can fix what seems to be a major problem.
I guess from what people see though, as people search up on YouTube and things. I guess that's what they see. That's what they're gonna say. It's like let's say Chris Archie's like, oh, I don't like the beta. It's terrible. All his fans are gonna watch that video, and they're probably gonna okay, yeah, I don't have to play it. Played it, so I'm just gonna say it's terrible. Like people don't try before they give their actual opinion on it.
Yeah, I'm going to take an estimate of the total people that play the game, which is probably, like, other than the bots, maybe 1 million people that's maximum, maybe not even that play the game on real. I'm going to say that maybe, like, 200,000 of those people went on the weekend and played it. So they're only getting, like, a little bit of the thing of the community's vote. And in the first week that it was open, at first there was maybe like 3 worlds, and there was about 800 people on each of them. And then the weekend comes along. This is the first weekend, and there's like 3 maxed worlds and a bunch of 1,000 plus worlds. So I'm like, oh man, the beta's pretty popular, I guess, and I come back like a week or two later, and there's one world with like 400 people on it, and they're all standing outside the GE. So I think a lot of the community is missing out on their opinion. Now, whether they like it or not is up to them, but it's not the real game yet, so it's still fun to play because you can just do whatever you want on there because it's not going to affect your real game. But it's fun to play while it's there, and if you do like it, Jagex always likes your opinion, or at least I hope they do. So, I mean, I had lots of fun when I first got on there and going PKing and everything. And I gotta say, if the beta does come out, I'd probably do a lot more PKing than I used to. I mean, I have a video up on my channel of me just getting dominated trying to go out PKing a while ago, and I'm not the best at PKing on the regular game, but on the beta I'm pretty good, I'd say.
Right. I mean, like you were saying, not everybody's giving it the chance or even putting in their 2 cents of information that might be needed or might help out the beta system. And then also, of course, you are going to have those players that are pretty lazy. They don't want to do combat, or they don't want to be that interactive. They'd rather just AFK everything, you know.
Yeah.
They'd rather AFK everything and not actually have to do anything, not earn their keep, so to speak.
I mean, you can, but you can change some skills to not make them as AFK, but you know, some skills you just gotta AFK. Like, I can't see myself getting, like, you know how there's some Slayer tasks where you can just like, oh, I'm gonna put my cannon here and it's gonna AFK. The Aberrant Spectres,
Yeah.
AFK that task all the time. I don't even, like, I just leave auto retaliate off and I just, you know, click the cannon. I just keep reloading the cannon. I don't even attack anything.
But I've done quite a lot of Aberrant Spectres, and when I go there, it's just really easy. You send them up in that one corner, and you just pick up the charms, turn on Mage Protect, and do whatever. And it's, I mean, they're pretty good charm dropper, but I mean, it's really AFK-able compared to a lot of other tasks. I mean, some tasks, I guess, in the beta, even in the beta, I don't know if Aberrant Spectres would be quite as AFK-able, but they'd still be probably one of the more AFK-able tasks. Not like if you were going to go do Steel Dragons, on the regular game, they're pretty click-intensive. I mean, you have to at least pay some sort of attention to look for your anti-fire and whatnot. But on the beta, I mean, you'd probably kill them a lot quicker, but you'd have to pay probably double the attention that you normally would.
Yeah, I was gonna say there's a lot of players that claim that they're good or they don't like this beta, and then once you turn around and you try to either, let's say, go to duo arena or whatever and fight them just to see how good they are at it, or even just go PvM with them, you know, like on a Slayer task, you realize that this person really doesn't have a clue on what they're doing. And then once you get in the beta, you get the same player, I've seen quite a few times, the same player that was no good in the regular RuneScape, they were pretty much kick ass in beta. It really does.
Well,
it helps, but it then again it doesn't, you know.
Yeah.